This is only a vlog about a radio oscillator, of which I have published the circuit on my YouTube channel, but say 2 months ago or so, whatever. And in that video you have watched the first IDs. It's a sine wave oscillator, and my original idea was that it could work up to 8 megahertz. So I had to leave that idea because I couldn't get it working with a pure waveform, only with a distorted waveform on those higher frequencies. So this is what it is at the moment. Kind of conversion of a factory made circuit, and here it is. That factory made sine wave oscillator worked up to 10 megahertz, but I could only get it working now in this hobby way up to 2 megahertz. Anyway, that's the difference between, say, professional developments of radio circuits, etc., etc. But it worked now quite good, works quite good, and I had a very big problem to get out an undistorted signal. And the field effect transistor circuit is here. I want to publish the circuit in the near future with that field effect transistor, but when you have followed my channel, and I will give a link, I have already published that field effect transistor oscillator. But now the most important thing to tell is that I took out the radio signal out of another point, another location of that field effect transistor. So, say not a common position like I use it always, but another position, and I will surely publish the complete circuit so that everyone can take profit of that new, in a certain way, new setup. Anyway, what are the possibilities? Here are the frequency bands that you can reach. It goes from 381 kilocycles to 1.98 megacycles. So it's for the medium wave. You can use this oscillator, for instance, to test classical old school 455 or 456 or 46, not 46, 455 kilocycles, 460 kilocycles. I have filters. That's surely a useful application from this oscillator. And here you can see perhaps all the coils that were made in the past, and more info is in the earlier video. They were all tuned to specific frequency bands. That means that I try to get a certain overlap, but here there is no overlap between 648 and 742 kilocycles. But anyway, when you use coils that you need for specific frequencies on shortwave or whatever application of this sine wave oscillator. You can make them, and there's much more information on my YouTube channel, in the earlier video, etc, etc. So let's look what's happening. Here is the waveform. It's quite pure. I made a switch that you can say diminish the output level a little bit, because on the maximum output level there was a small distortion, but anyway, you can see what happens when I do that switch. Waveform stays very, very good. Frequency is 1.16 megahertz at the moment. This is, by the way, my new frequency counter that I bought. This is my old frequency counter. It sometimes doesn't want to function, but anyway, that's why I bought a new one. 1.16 kilohertz. Megahertz, sorry. Of course, 1.16 megahertz. On the highest frequency band. But when I do this switch, so go to the higher position, we are on another frequency. We are on, I hope that it still works. Anyway, the waveform is very pure, and I've tested it over and over anyway. So it surely works. Well, there are 5 positions. The 5 is the highest frequency band. 4, 3, 2 and 1. Not much more to tell. This is a vlog. I will surely publish the schematic as soon as possible. I have to study it over and over because I did a lot of adaptations compared to the other circuit that I've published on YouTube. But, very important, in fact the whole circuit does not, in theory and practical, much from the original schematic with the field effect transistor, the BF245, and it's an obsolete field effect transistor, but anyway, in some cases other field effect transistors can also work, and I will surely give the links when the whole thing is definite in the description. So, well, go back to the circuit, and of course, when we make here the capacitance smaller by tuning here this knob, the frequency goes up. Completely classical. What happens here? Classical radio theory, etc, etc. And we are now on 1.98 megahertz. 1.98. So 1980 kilohertz. So thanks for watching. I hope to publish this circuit as soon as possible because it's interesting. And of course, well, this was an old school frequency generator, so I was very lucky to get it. I burned the original frequency generator out, by the way, but of course, this is such a good setup. How this all was made in a professional way. To use it again. So this is a reuse of a generator, a Farnell made by Farnell. Very good. It originally worked, like I told, up to 10 megahertz, but as a hobby circuit I cannot get it higher than approximately 2 megahertz. Thanks for watching.